Premier competition. It is the Champions League, live from Celtic Park here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, with your commentary team: Celtic against Young Boys, James McFadden, Pat Bonner and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Richard. What a night we could be in for at Celtic Park this evening, as Brendan Rodgers' side vie for a place in the knockout phase of Europe's top tournament for the first time in 12 years. Everything points towards that happening with the recent records here. A very impressive one for the home side. Well, Young Boys' Champions League campaign has been nothing short of abject. You can hear the atmosphere around Celtic Park. The crowd on European nights really let you down, and although the visiting fans away to our right have just set off a few smoke flares to add to the colour here, with the tifos on the far side as well, very impressive as they often are from the Celtic fans. It is all set for a momentous occasion here on a night when Celtic could clinch their place in the playoff round. The two sides shake hands going down the line. Young Boys still looking for a first point in this, their 7th match in the Champions League this season. Coming into match day 7, they conceded more goals than anyone else. Even domestically, their form has been extremely poor in a league that they won by 12 points last season for a 6th time in 7 seasons. So clearly a club that in recent times have been used to dominating, but hasn't gone well for them. They've changed manager in recent months, dispensing with the previous manager back in October. But a new permanent manager, Giorgio Contini, only just coming in to replace the interim coach, Joe Magnin, who'd taken over from Patrick Raman when he was dismissed. So they are in a bit of turmoil. And Celtic know that if they, as James and Packy and everyone have been saying, if they turn up, do their job to the best of their abilities, the chances are that they will come away with the 3 points they require, which will almost certainly this evening guarantee them a place in the playoff round. They're looking for Arsenal to ensure that they get the better of Dinamo Zagreb as well, and that, coupled with a Celtic win tonight, would guarantee Celtic progress into the next stage of the competition. Celtic and Young Boys break out from their huddle. Young Boys are in a yellow kit with a black stripe down the middle, black shorts and yellow socks. Celtic in their traditional green and white hoops, white shorts, white socks. The match referee, Rohit Sagi of Norway, all in black and ready to get us underway. And it will be Young Boys going from right to left in this first half, who will kick us off bang on 8 o'clock. And Celtic will be looking to make a lightning fast start, get this huge crowd right behind them. And the referee gives the signal, and Young Boys back the way to their left back, Yawan Hadjam, and all the way back to goalkeeper Marvin Keller, who starts again, having done so at the weekend. And they managed to get the ball forward pretty quickly, but it's back to Schmeichel from Greg Taylor as they look to make some early headway there. Ganvula on the chase, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side to Young Boys. And the important thing, Packy, I suppose, is that Celtic don't give Young Boys any encouragement in these opening minutes here. No, and it's going to be intensity from Celtic, closing them down, trying to put them under pressure, making it very uncomfortable for them. But my first observation of Young Boys is that they're a tall, physical team. They've got probably about 4 or 5, and they've got a big player up front, and Gagnola, and he's going to be the target man for them when Celtic press them. It's picked up in the middle of the park by Males for Young Boys, looking to try and put their foot in the ball in these opening stages, just quieten the crowd down. The Celtic know that if they fail to win tonight, that they would go to Villa Park next week having to take something from that game almost certainly to progress. As the ball's back with Marvin Keller, the goalkeeper, up to Ganvula, who looks like a target man, and he's wrestled to the ground there by Cameron Carter-Vickers, and as Packy says, James, he looks like he's going to be a handful.
Yeah, I mean, the first challenge, he goes up and wins the header. On this occasion, he just pins Carter-Vickers, who's wrestling with him, and it's a lovely first touch he takes. Carter-Vickers brings him down, but it was the first thing, as Packy says, that I noticed. It looks like every single outfield player is 6 foot plus for young boys, so that poses a problem when it comes from set plays. And I mean, it looks like they're going to be direct. It's not as if they're lumping it forward every time they get it, but certainly they're going to use Ganvula as that target man, and they're going to try and get runners from midfield off him, and the wide men, I would suspect, would come in off the side of the pitch as well, because he is an absolute unit.
Hadjam doing well to keep possession, gets it back to Benito, the captain and centre back, and it's Ganvula being dragged back again by Carter-Vickers. He's out on the left flank, again showing good strength. Back comes Alistair Johnston, but the ball's back with Montero. Montero plays it into Hadjam, who's made good ground, cuts it across the 6-yard box. Trusty in the way to knock it clear, and Celtic get it out of the penalty area and come forward through Greg Taylor. But positive signs in these opening 2.5 minutes from young boys. But here comes Maida looking to latch on to Taylor's ball forward, just connected with there by Atakami to knock it out of play to prevent Maida getting onto that pass forward as Celtic look to mount their own attack. Almost 3 minutes in, 0-0.
Yeah, the left back got into a great position there, broke forward and was clean through in a 1v1. I thought he should have taken on the shot. He tried to cut it back and try and pick somebody out, and I think it was easier for them to force Michael into that early save, and he didn't. Opportunity gone for them. Celtic off the hook.
Yeah, Ganvula can run as well, because the ball gets put up the side and it gets away from Carter-Vickers. But Celtic have an opportunity, because young boys are getting the ball forward, but they're also piling bodies forward, so Celtic will have an opportunity in the transition and the counter-attack to cause them problems, like they almost did with putting over the top for Maeda to go and use his speed.
Celtic have it through Trusty at the back, plays it square to Carter-Vickers, closed down by Ganvula, to the right to Johnston, and forward for Engels. A loose pass for Engels, and he's very lucky there was a slip in there from Malles, otherwise he would have picked up possession in a really promising position. As it is, Celtic have it forward for Maida, up to the angle of the box, left hand side, drives at that back line. Kyogo takes a heavy touch, doesn't quite fall for Kuhn, and young boys get it clear from their own penalty area. But that was good play from Maida, almost creating the chance there for Kyogo.
Should he have struck it, James?
I don't know. I did think that he was going to. It's brilliant from Maeda. We spoke about Kuhn and what he brings 1v1. Maeda gets faced up, goes down the left hand side, cuts it across. I think that it's potentially just a little bit behind Kyogo, and he feels that he just doesn't want to swing his left foot at it. Feels that he can get the touch and take the shot. But my initial feeling was, when it came across, that he was going to swing the left at it and hit it first time.
Here's Taylor. 4.5 play, 0-0 here as Atati finds Maida, who's in behind now. Maida into the box, plays it square, but it's knocked away by Benito before Kyogo could pounce. But better stuff from Celtic in the last minute or so. Throw in quickly taken. Here's Taylor almost at the byline, left hand side. Challenge made, but it will be a Celtic throw in almost at the corner flag, left flank as they attack.
Yeah, it was a really good run from Maeda. Again, we talked about his pace getting in behind. The ball's just played in first time by Hatati in behind the fullback, and he gets it. I think he had no other option but to try to play that ball across, but there was nobody really arriving at that near post.
Celtic in possession. Back to Trusty, about 10 yards inside young boys' territory. Plays it square to Carter-Vickers, who takes a touch and then finds McGregor in the middle of the park. Johnston now with his back to the young boys' goal, plays it back the way onto the halfway line to Trusty. Now Taylor again back with Trusty. Young boys get everyone back in their own half just for the moment. Ganvula goes to chase down Carter-Vickers, but it's square to Trusty, and then Hatati back with Carter-Vickers, and now Johnston about 10 yards inside his own half, clips it forward looking for Kuhn. Well read though by the full back Hadjam, who comes forward. He's wearing strange looking leggings. It's through for Kyogo. Kyogo's in behind. Kyogo with the opportunity. It's a goal, but his flag goes up and he looks to the heavens. Opaki called it straight away, and I think he's right, but play was allowed to continue as Kyogo hammered it past the goalkeeper. And that will be checked, but it should be a quick check. Didn't look offside.
Yeah, for me, he was about 2 or 3 yards offside. You know, he went early, but again, the space, exploit that space in behind, which is Celtic's way of playing. And if they get those runs correct, the timing of them right, I think the opportunity is there for them to exploit the space.
I'll tell you who did get it correct was Maida behind him. Kyogo, we know, stands in offside position. Well, as a striker, you're never going to leave it, but you should have a bit of awareness that he's probably offside. Maida timed his run perfectly. The pass was into his path, and he is in.
Greenwich at the edge of the Celtic penalty area, but McGregor gets the better of him and breaks forward along with Maida. McGregor in possession, left-hand side, just into the young boys' half. The goal obviously chopped off there. That Kyogo struck, but he did look well offside as the ball was played through to him. So 0-0 it stands after 7 minutes.
Young boys, sorry Al, young boys are really compact. The spaces in between midfield, defence and forwards are really tight, but they're playing such a high line that pass in behind is on so often for Celtic.
Maida left-hand side back to Taylor and onto the halfway line for Trusty. Trusty square for Carter Vickers. And into the middle of the park for his captain, Callum McGregor, under a bit of pressure there from Greenwich, but he gets the pass off to Trusty, and now it's Taylor trying to slide it down the channel for Hatate. It's cut out, and back there goes Atakami, who just fires it forward onto the head of Trusty. McGregor back to Trusty, will be closed down by Ganvula, who hasn't been able to get on the ball since those opening moments, which he posed a bit of a problem for the Celtic back line. But here's Trusty just outside his own penalty area, out to the left to Greg Taylor, and back with Trusty once more. Celtic patiently building up from the back. It's Carter Vickers into Callum McGregor, still about 20 yards inside his own half, out to the right to Johnston. Can't get the better there on this left-hand side of Joel Montero, who has perhaps been one of the few good performers for young boys over the course of this season. But it's been a very, very difficult campaign for them, not just in Europe, domestically, as I say, as well. And looking through their squad, there's not really been a team that has been a regular pick. There's been a lot of players who've barely played. Here's Nicolas Kuhn into the edge of the penalty area, dances round a couple, dances round three, deflected shot is wide for a corner. Well, could he have got the shot off earlier would be the question in my mind, but Kuhn posing problems in that young boy's box.
Yeah, it potentially could have. It's another ball in behind, such a high line that young boys are playing. I don't think it's for Kuhn, but he makes the run anyway and it comes into his path. I thought he was maybe going to hit it first time, jinks inside, and when you come in on your left foot, you're waiting for that opening, and he probably just felt the opening wasn't there until the last minute. They managed to get a block on it, but what a high line they're playing.
Engels with the corner then from the left-hand side, the in-swinger incoming with the right foot, 9.5 on the clock as Engels swings it into the 6-yard box. Headed out to this near side, and it'll be kept in. Kyogo there to try and make a nuisance of himself, but young boys have emerged in possession. Montero doing well, and now it's with Greenwich away from Kuhn. Beats it forward down the left-hand side, but it's straight out of play. In fact, he just that Nicolas Kuhn chance, the way the ball broke to him, it was almost like the first minute against Kilmarnock at the weekend.
Yeah, but Jim's described it perfectly. He was waiting for the opening, it just wasn't coming in. To take 2-3 touches, and then when he did get a shot away, they just were able to get a nick on it. But it was a really good play from Kuhn, though. He'd never give up, and that pace in behind is going to be a threat between himself and Maeda and Kyogo if Celtic can actually keep penetrating this team.
You look at them now as they're building up. Celtic back at Casper Schmeichel, and young boys are practically on the halfway line. They're leaving so much space in behind because they know Celtic will play out, and they probably feel that they may not go in behind, but Celtic have been in behind 3 or 4 times already. It's certainly, play the pass into midfield, look for that opening. Hatate's making the run, Engels is making the run, Maida, Kuhn, Kyogo, it is on for them.
Here's Maida, left-hand side then, up against Atakami, fires it in near post, parried away by the goalkeeper. Hatate takes a pot shot at goal from the edge of the box, well wide there from the Japanese midfielder. We've played just over 10 minutes at Celtic Park. Celtic nil, young boys nil, but Celtic certainly getting the upper hand in the last few minutes.
Yeah, young boys are trying to keep the distances between the front men, the midfielders and the back players all fairly tight, so Celtic can't play in between. But then that space beyond the back line is the real threat for Celtic, and if Celtic are brave enough to keep trying the little passes into midfield and then open up and playing that quick ball in behind them, I think there's real opportunity for them. But it's a kind of like a mid-block that Young Boys is playing, trying to squeeze it very, very tight.
Throwing 2 Young Boys over at the far side, midway inside their own half, to be taken by Swiss under-21 fullback Zachary Atakami. Throws it into the middle of the park to Nias, but it's gone out of play for a Celtic throw-in, which Taylor's looking to try and take quickly. Nothing immediately on, so he takes his time instead, and then finds Hattati back with Taylor, closed down by Nias, but gets the pass off to Hattati once more, back to the edge of the centre circle to Carter Vickers, and now Trusty forwards for Taylor, back with Trusty, about 10 yards inside Young Boys half. McGregor back to Trusty once more, left hand side. He's closed down there by Ugrinic, but gets the pass off to McGregor once more. Left hand side is Taylor, midway inside the Young Boys half, back again to Hattati. Hattati just about 10 yards inside Young Boys territory, back to Carter Vickers, allowing Young Boys to just come out that little bit.
Yeah, the play's down the left hand side, Al, and Kuhn's out in this right hand side, and he's desperate to get either a diagonal or get a ball to him, and they haven't been able to find him.
He's just got his hands up in the air constantly. Every time it looks like Celtic are going to come out the other side, they go back into the left, and Kuhn just keeps looking as if to say, I'm here guys, remember I'm here, you can play it to me if you want.
16 goals for the season. It's unlikely that he's not going to be involved at some stage, as he was just a few moments ago, almost creating the opportunity to get the shot off and eventually winning inside a corner. But still 0-0 after 13 between Celtic and Young Boys. You listen to Sportsline on BBC Radio Scotland. Remember, there's highlights on BBC One tonight of all the Champions League games. As Celtic win themselves a free kick over on the far side, just inside their own half. Greg Taylor to take this, goes back the way to Trusty. Carter Vickers now to Johnston, and all the way back to Schmeichel, all in pink tonight. The Danish veteran, having just agreed that extension to his contract that will keep him here beyond the end of the summer for another year at least. As Celtic have a throw, and quickly taken left hand side again, midway inside their own half. It's Trusty, square for Carter Vickers, just gets the ball caught between his feet and has to go back to Schmeichel. His own goal against Bruges meant that Celtic had to come from behind on that occasion. It did so to earn the point, which could end up being a very crucial one. Here he is once more, Carter Vickers, also scoring an own goal up at Dens Park, inadvertently diverting the ball past Kasper Schmeichel on that occasion, but he has been an absolute rock at the back for the most part, as Callum McGregor plays a little dummy over on the far side, which is warmly welcomed by the home fans. 14 and a half played, no goals between Celtic and Young Boys. Carter Vickers plays it square again for Trusty. Trusty about 20 yards inside his own half, plays it between a couple of players to McGregor. Taylor shot with his pass back to Trusty, and Ugrinic has done well to win it and finds Ganvula out to the right hand side now as Malez tries to get the better of Trusty. Malez goes back the way into the midfield, but Maida read it and he's nicked it, and there's a ball forward for Kyogo. Kyogo looking to get in behind here, tries the early shot and is going to drift wide of goal. Well, didn't think he quite had the pace to take the ball on there, that's why he went for it first time. It was an adventurous effort, and it was never really troubling Marvin Keller in the Young Boys goal. Quarter of an hour gone, Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
No, it wasn't. It was a great ball from Hattati, and he had the beating of Kamara, Kyogo, but he could sense that Benito was getting back to him, and that's why he takes the shot. It's ambitious, but can't really have a go at him for it, because I think it's the right decision. It's just not the right execution.
Engels closed down in the middle of the park, but he gets a break of the ball and gets it back from Kuhn, then tries to angle it through for Maida, who will do well to keep that in play, but he's managed to do so using his pace to good effect there. Back with Taylor, left hand side. Hattati didn't realise there was a man on him, he's brought him down, but play allowed to continue as Young Boys pick up right hand side into the feet of Ganvula, just inside the Celtic half, twists and turns, and then out to the left hand side to Hadyam. Hadyam back the way to Benito. Hattati might earn himself a booking latterly for that challenge, but play was allowed to continue Young Boys not really able to make all that much of it, and now they've gone back to the goalkeeper, who's out just at the edge of his penalty area. 16 played, no goals between Celtic and Young Boys. Up it goes to Ganvula, who gets the flick on, but it's gone harmlessly out of play on the right hand side, and play continuing without any further action against Hatate.
I think it was accidental. I think that, you know, he is out muscled and he does trip him, but I think it's accidental. And then, you know, Young Boys were still on the attack, so he didn't stop any kind of attack.
Yep, it's a fair shout, as Trusty has it, about 10 yards inside his own half, looking for options forward, but there's nothing on, so he goes square to Carter Vickers, who finds a good ball for Engels, who tries to release Kuhn down the right hand side. Kyogo's in the middle, can he find him? It's just behind Kyogo, and it's good backtracking by Kamara, and Benito tidies up, and now Hadjam being closed down by Engels. Hadjam doing well initially, but Engels snapping back at him to win it back. Hadjam still in there, but Kuhn nicks it from him, and now McGregor will pick up the loose ball and find Engels. Kept in, was it, by Johnston? Ball still in play, and Johnston down the right hand side, almost at the byline, sweeps it into the back post. Maida takes an incredible touch, which almost set him up for the shot, but Kamara steps in and mops things up for Young Boys, and they'll come down the right hand side now. Good game on our hands so far, despite the lack of goals. 17 and a half played, and it's still Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
That was a chance. It's great play, because Celtic have been patient, they're knocking it about. Carter Vickers to Trusty, back out to Johnson, into McGregor, just waiting for that moment. But in this occasion, it's Carter Vickers, plays a pass that breaks the line in midfield, and then the pass comes for Kuhn. He knows exactly what he's doing, he does exactly the right thing, and trying to find Kyogo, who definitely found space in the middle. He just hits it just a little bit behind him, and the chance is gone. But it's good play from Celtic to break those lines and get to that back line.
Keller clears up to Ganvula, but the loose ball's picked up by McGregor. McGregor into the middle of the park for Engels. Engels trying to slot it through there for Kyogo, but it's cut out, and here come Young Boys, and they've got 4-on-4 here. This could be promising for Young Boys. It's Montero, he's going to go for goal from distance, pushed away by Schmeichel. It was straight at him, but it was powerfully hit, and he couldn't take any chances, and he does well to just push it out for a throw-in over on that far side. We've played 18 and a half minutes. It's Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
Yeah, that counter-attack, once he broke that midfield pressing, Callum McGregor stepped out when he probably should have sat. He took a chance and he was beaten, and that's allowed them to break forward. What a good strike it was.
Yeah,
it was moving in the air too, and Schmeichel, all he could do was just bat it away, and he was lucky that it was straight at him.
Here's Hadjam, left hand side for Young Boys, getting a bit of confidence from that break, looking to link there with Ganvula. Didn't quite come off, and Celtic pick up possession midway inside their own half. Hatate to the right hand side to Johnston, and back with Carter Vickers, and McGregor will pick up in the middle of the park, now beyond the 100 mark for European appearances for the club. Trusty clipping that forward, doesn't find its target, but Hatate will pick up and play it back to McGregor, and now it's Engels just at the edge of the centre circle, to the right to Johnston, and out to Kuhn, who's hugging the touchline on this right hand side, up against Hadjam, tries to slip it forward. It's not a good ball though for Johnston, and Montero, who was doing the backtracking, is pulled down by Kuhn. That's going to be a yellow card, a daft one from Nicholas Kuhn, pulling Montero back midway inside the Young Boys half, but nonetheless it is a yellow card for Nicholas Kuhn, a cheap one.
Yeah, it was a cheap one. It's frustration more because of the bad pass he made. The first time he's had the ball to go in almost in a 1v1 situation, he tries the pass, and it was a poor pass. It was easily cut out, and that was a bit of frustration, I think, more than anything else. But he's in the book, and that's a little bit dangerous when you're booked so early in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he recognised it. Johnston is potentially going to be able to recover. He's just made that decision. As you say, Alistair Johnston made the run inside him. He tries to play the pass, so often see it. But I have to say, it's great defending from Montero to go all the way back, match the run, snuff it out, and then start the counter-attack. I just don't think Nicholas Kuhn was aware that Johnston potentially could have got back.
Celtic have it. We've played 20 minutes. I think what we can definitely say from these opening 20 minutes, despite the bad record that Young Boys have this season, both domestically and in Europe. They're not a bad team.
No, absolutely. They're physically strong. They're well organised. They get themselves around the pitch to make it difficult for you, and then they become that little bit dangerous if you give away a silly pass or you're not organised. They will hit you in the counter-attack. So they are dangerous.
Yeah, they are. I think they're physical. You can see their willingness to run. They're sticking to the instruction of the manager in terms of their shape with the ball, and particularly against it, and they're working so hard to go and squeeze the spaces, whether that's defence to midfield to the forward line, but also when the ball goes over in that left-hand side, they squeeze over as a team almost over the halfway point at the centre circle.
Oh, Taylor's taking a chance and he's lost it. It's Ganvula picking up, but he's dispossessed by Trusty, who digs Taylor out of a hole, and then McGregor tries to pick the pass down the left-hand side. Maida, good defending there by the full-back Atakami. He was on the stretch. He knew he didn't have the pace of Maida, so he just had to stretch and knock it out of play, and he did so well. 21.5 minutes played. Celtic nil, Young Boys nil, as Hatate shows some good skill. Then the nutmeg for Maida. Maida's into the penalty. They barged down. No penalty. Kyogo picks up, trying to get to the byline. Hacked away by Young Boys. That was a shout for a penalty, absolutely. Maida was challenged from behind. There was definitely contact as he stumbled, and the referee said no penalty. It will be checked by VAR, of course, but on this occasion the on-field referee deciding no pen.
He gets the wrong side. Maida, it's great play from Hatate to play him in. And I watched the Benfica and Barcelona game last night. There was a couple of extremely soft penalties in that game, shall we say. So I think that it looked a bit clumsy from the defender. The referee was clear that he wasn't given a penalty. And the way that he gestured was, even if he was sent to the monitor, I think he would stick by his decision.
Yeah, well, the decision has been ratified by VAR as Celtic win themselves a free kick in the middle of the park, right in the centre circle. VAR this evening is Marco Di Bello, the Italian, but he and his Norwegian on-field colleague both agreeing that wasn't a penalty for the challenge of Maida. But it'll be interesting to hear perhaps the reflections of the guys in the studio at half-time, who will be able to see replays of that as to whether it was more contentious than the officials seem to think. Celtic have this free kick then, centre circle. McGregor clips it through, looking for Maida, just very fractionally too much on that. Otherwise it would have been perfect for Maida, who'd made a good run. And you can tell that Maida is, as he does for most fullbacks, he's posing problems for Atakami over in the right back slot. Over in the left-hand side though, it's Hadyam coming forward, linking with Montero. Can he slip this through for Males? Males just beaten to it by Trusty, who knocks it over to the left-hand side. Taylor then looking to find Hatate. Hatate hits the deck and he's won the free kick for his side. But certainly when Young Boys get into that final third, they are looking threatening.
Yes, they are. I think that, we spoke about them against the ball. They're trying to, close the spaces as much as they can. They're leaving themselves exposed at the back for the ball in behind, which Celtic have exploited at times. But when they win it back, they're breaking in numbers with speed and causing Celtic problems.
Yeah, I think they're decently quick in the back, and I think that's why they've played such a high line, because they feel that they can match Celtic. Even if the ball's played beyond them, they've got time to get back because they're so high.
Benito and his colleagues at the back taking a chance there as they were closed down by Celtic, but eventually Keller, the goalkeeper, knocks it long. But Celtic have it back through Trusty, and now it's Engels just inside his own half. He looks up to see what forward pass he can play. Kyogo is manhandled to the ground there by the captain, Loris Benito, and it's a free kick to Celtic, about 15 yards inside the Young Boys half. Almost 25 on the clock. No goals as yet in this one, as Celtic look for the victory that would all but guarantee, or perhaps guarantee, depending on other results, a place in the playoff round. Here's Alistair Johnston on the halfway line, right hand side, forward to Kuhn, looking to escape the attentions of Hadyam, who's sticking close to him. But here's McGregor, halfway line, gets turned away from Ganvula, then skips past a couple of players. Brilliant play from McGregor. Now Kyogo tries to flick it on for Maida, edge of the box. Maida for McGregor once more. Maida now back to Hatate, turns away from one player. Can he get the shot away? Yes, he can, but it just tipped wide. Good save by the goalkeeper to deny Hatate, who thought he'd found the inside of the post, but down went Keller to his right-hand side and scooped it round the post. Best effort from Celtic so far.
Yeah, it was a good strike, wasn't it? A nice bend round the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper did brilliantly to get down with his right hand, full stretch, to tip that round the post.
Corner kick to Celtic once more from the left-hand side. Engels to take, right-footed. Celtic got plenty of bodies inside that penalty area in and around the 6-yard box as they look for the opening goal. It's Engels to swing it into the back post, but it's well headed away by Hadyam. Hatate will pick up and play it back to the centre circle where Johnston is all alone, and he'll angle the ball back out to Engels, who's chested it down and kept it in play. Taylor goes ahead of him, but Engels uses him as a decoy and swings it. It's a wonderful ball. Kuhn sent it wide. Oh, the offside flag goes up anyway, but Kuhn from little over a yard sends it wide of the post when it looked easier to score, but the flag would have denied him in any case. What a ball though from Engels.
Yeah, pace, right, picked out. He had to be offside. He was in so easily at the back post, almost a metre and a half from the post, so he was obviously going to be offside, but it was a good ball and good pace.
Unbelievable cross from Engels. He works it, you know, it's a great switch of play from Johnston. Engels brings it down, he's got a runner outside him, and he just chops inside onto his right foot, and it's a flat driven cross for Kuhn, who was given offside but put the ball in the back of the net and then allowed that to be checked.
Yeah, that would have been the ideal scenario, wouldn't it? As there's a free kick being given to Celtic for a challenge here on Johnston by, I think it's Hadyam who's down. Yeah, I can tell by the long, I'm not even sure what they are. They look like almost cut off tracky bottoms.
It does. Something different. James, have you ever worn
long shorts or short trousers? What are they?
Maybe in training.
I think it's.
But he was late. He was late going in, and that's why he got injured himself. He was late going in, and he caught Johnson. Johnson's okay. He's up on his feet, but he's stretchered out, and he's got to get a bit of treatment.
He's been aggressive, hasn't he? Anytime it's come into Kuhn, he's been tight. He's driving forward, full of energy. He's just too late in that occasion. And to answer your question, I think you see them with these, you know, the long kind of tights. He's got a short version of them, but longer than cycling shorts.
Much longer, yeah. Right down to the calf. I'm not a big fan of them, I have to say, but there you are. Well, what we got? 28 minutes on the clock, no goals. Chances at either end, you would have to say. Kasper Schmeichel with a good save to deny Montero. Hatate with the best effort Celtic have managed so far. Just a couple of moments ago, a good save from Keller, and Hadyam back on his feet and on the touchline, ready to come back on as Celtic take the free kick, and on he comes, the full-back. That's given away by Trusty. A couple of slack passes from Celtic tonight have let them down as Ugrinic picks up possession in the middle of the park and plays it back to Benito, who will get it back once more and then play it to Keller, who's found it back to the captain Benito, up to the halfway line. McGregor in the way, gets his head to the ball, but Ganfula will come in and win the second ball, towering above the Celtic captain. And now it's Malley's out to the right hand side, and a chance for Atakami to come forward from fullback and play it out to the right once more. Young boys looking to shock Celtic Park with an opening goal. The cross comes in and the ball into the near post was flicked on there by Wakome, who made a good run at the near post, but his header's well over the top, and it remains after 29 minutes Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
I would assume that's where their dangers, you know, because they've got the big player Gagnola in the box, so they give the ball away again. Yeah,
but it's retrieved by Kuhn just as well, though, as he tries to find Maida, but that's cut out, and Young Boys pick up in the middle of the park, and it's Atakami forward for Malley's just inside his own half. He's pulled to the ground there by Greg Taylor. Free kick to Young Boys on the halfway line. Yeah, a little bit frustrating that for Brendan Rodgers, that his players have been a little bit untidy in possession at times.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, he always will be, because he wants them to be so precise. And the last opportunity there, yeah, there was 3 options in front, 2 in fact, Kyogo and Maida, but the gap was so big that if they don't get it perfect, then it's dropping into the midfield area of Young Boys to then, you know, start the counter again. They've shown great patience at times.
McGregor's pinched it. Kyogo now at the edge of the box. Can he get the shot away? Kyogo scores! Celtic in front. Mistake in the midfield by Nias. Callum McGregor pinched his pocket, fed Kyogo and sent him beyond the goal goalkeeper to make it Celtic 1, Young Boys 0.
Yeah, Niasse getting caught in the ball. He delayed on the ball. He's down thinking that he should get a free kick, and yeah, maybe you get body contact, but that doesn't mean to say every time you have body contact there's a free kick. And McGregor was on to him like a shot, won the ball, give it to the player who was going to go and finish, and that was Kyogo, and he bends and round. The goalkeeper, I think, was maybe a little bit unsettled because he's gone the opposite way, and the ball goes into his right hand side in the back of the net.
Yeah, it's excellent from McGregor to win the ball back, so aggressive in the press. I actually felt
take a deflection at the end. Might have done a wee bit.
Referee's coming to see the monitor. He's been pulled over by VAR, and this is going to be checked by the Norwegian referee. Niasse is still on the ground. I mean, I have to say, at first glance, it didn't look like a free kick to me, but VAR has possibly seen something that we haven't from our position in the stand, and the referee will be invited to have another look.
If it is a free kick, he's lucky, because he didn't know what was around about him. He delayed on the ball, allowed McGregor to get close to him and put the tackle in.
Yeah, well, here comes the referee. What is the signal? When he comes, the Norwegian. Yep. It's a free kick, and it's no goal. That had been chopped off, and Celtic thought they had the opener, but they will have to search for it once more. And Sheikh Niasse is a lucky boy, James.
Yes, he is. Callum McGregor so aggressive to go and win it back. Clearly the referee feels that there's a foul in there.
Well, as VAR has called it, not the referee, because
he's had a chance to look at it, and he's decided himself that there is a foul, there's enough in it. But it's a huge let-off for Young Boys. They have been direct at times, and it's been effective. But Celtic showing there, if they're going to start knocking the ball into midfield, then they're going to be aggressive up on the press.
I think it's the first time they play the ball in the midfield as such, to allow a midfielder to get on the ball. Every other one, you're right, it's been long up to the big striker, and then getting support and battling with Carter Vickers mainly.
So still goalless then, as the big screens detail, a very detailed explanation from VAR, but it was ultimately that Callum McGregor had committed a foul in winning possession from Niasse. As they take a chance at the back again, this time it's Kamara, but he gets away with it just about, and they pick up on the halfway line, try and feed it out to the left. Montero can't get there ahead of Johnston though, and Engels will slide in and does really well to play it forward for Kuhn. Kuhn now into the middle of the park he goes, and finds a pass for Hatate. Hatate slips it on for Maida, left hand side, early ball in, Kyogo this time! Offside flags up! As Kyogo knocks it into the back of the net yet again, and once more it'll be checked, because Celtic thought they had a goal, and the flag was immediately up. Kyogo potentially denied the opener once more.
I would like to see that one. That must be very, very tight, because it was a perfect. The right pass was made out to Maeda because he was onside. Kyogo was initially offside, and then I thought he got himself back onside for the final, but it will be checked.
Yeah,
it is.
It'll be tight.
It is. He's just off.
It's Maeda, I think, who has actually been called offside for the pass to him. Is what I'm hearing. Either way, the offside is verified once more by VAR, as the Celtic fans try and get behind their side despite having 2 goals chopped off in quick succession. Still 0-0 then as we enter the 35th minute. Kamara takes a chance there against Kyogo. Is that high feet? No, that it says the referee. Referee not endearing himself to the crowd here just at the moment. It's kept in play by Montero, and forward comes Hadjian, but he's lost out to Johnston and picked up by McGregor. Celtic pick up in the middle of the park. The captain plays it to Taylor.
They're desperate for that goal, Celtic, aren't they? The fans are desperate for it too, and I think that will change the whole complex of this game, and it'll take maybe a little bit of spirit out of this Young Boys team, because they are working extremely hard.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll be able to maintain, the work rate they're showing and the commitment, because as much as the goals that have been ruled out, still the ball's been in the back of the net. They've still been cut open.
Celtic get a free kick, and this crowd are getting angered at some of the decisions, and perhaps a lack of a yellow card there on that occasion, as they look to make the breakthrough which they thought they had a couple of times in the last few minutes, but Kyogo on 2 occasions denied by the officials, one way or the other.
Just seen the foul and McGregor, he just caught the back of the player's leg, and that was, he nearly got the ball, he just caught him at the vital moment, and that's probably why the free kick was given.
Kyogo looking to lay that off for McGregor, but that's cut out, and here's Ganvula, who looked like a big threat in the opening stages, but he's barely been on the ball. But here he is trying to keep possession for his side, knocks it back to Benito, back into the midfield it goes now, and a big switch of play there by the Pole Wakome. Forward they come down the right hand side. It's a good ball into the box, and then Montero at the back post, almost able to knock it in. I'm not sure who got the last touch, whether it was Alistair Johnston who flicked it behind for a corner, but that was threatening as the fullback Atakami almost found Montero.
I think it might have been Carter Vickers, was it? Just got a touch on it. If he did, it was a brilliant interception, because really good ball across that sort of almost to the back post, low and hard, and player coming in to get on the end of it.
I still think Montero should get on the end of it, but it comes because of switch of play. Greg Taylor's too keen to go and press, he's outnumbered. Atakami plays it inside, no pressure on Greenwich, who plays the ball in behind and gets beyond Greg Taylor. I think he just needs to hold his position.
Here's Greenwich then with the corner kick from the left-hand side for Young Boys. 8 minutes to the interval, swings it into the back post. Carter Vickers gets first contact and flicks it away out the penalty area. Taylor fires it forward, looking for Kuhn. There's a chance taken at the back, and they still might pick up here. Maida tries to play it to the right to Kuhn, but it was off with the pass, and it's picked up again by Greenwich, number 7 on the left-hand side. He goes back the way though to Hadjam. He'll go back further to his captain, Loris Benito, who's missed the start of the season, having been out since February with a cruciate ligament tear. It's one of a number of players who missed the chunks of the season for one reason or another, a lot of them through injury. As I was trying to say earlier on, there hasn't really been a settled team. As Kuhn comes forward, takes a decent first touch into the box, tries to play it square for Kyogo, is just behind him once more, and the danger is gone for the moment, although Maida looking to try and keep it in, and it's come off Atakami, and Celtic will have a throw-in deep in Young Boys territory in the closing minutes of this first period. Maida picks up. Taylor now for Hatate, left-hand side, just outside the penalty area, back the way to McGregor.
We did speak about Ingles before the game. I think he's had a really impactful first half. He's played some really good balls over the top, and first time balls, and very aware of where the space is.
Hatate slides it forward for Maida, left hand side, first time ball in. It's again just behind a couple of Celtic attackers, and it's picked up by Hadjam, who'll immediately launch it forward and look for Ganvula, but well won by Trusty. Kept his eye on it under significant pressure there from Ganvula. Could have been forgiven for having half an eye on his big physical presence, but he won the ball well, and Celtic pick up once more. Right hand side, offside. It's forward for Engels, does look offside, but play continues as it's swung into the box. Flag stays down as a poor touch in the penalty area there, and dragged down.
That's
the referee pointed to the penalty spot. Celtic do have a penalty this time. Was it Taylor who was dragged down after a really poor touch in that penalty area? And Celtic, having been on the wrong end of a couple of officiating decisions, find themselves with a penalty in the last 5 minutes.
We're checking that offside as well, because
the Engels one,
Engels was off. And the lead up to the attack, it's great from Greg Taylor, pouncing on it. A loose ball, Maida and Taylor just keeping it alive.
It's that run from Taylor, isn't it? He getting to about in the midfield. I don't know who it was that pulled him back, but the clear penalty. As you say, they might check for the offside, but they don't seem to be. Are they waiting? They're waiting. They are they? Or he's just coming to get the players to get back into a position outside the box. I think it's going to be given the penalty anyway, that's for sure.
Well, there's no real hint of it being looked at as such. The referee, the referee seems to be allowing this to be taken. So Arne Engels will have the chance here from the penalty spot to put Celtic in front. Up he steps, the young Belgian, and saves a poor penalty, a comfortable save by Keller, who guessed correctly just down to his left-hand side. But it was one of Arne Engels' poorer efforts from the penalty spot, and despite having had a good game, he couldn't beat the keeper, and with 4.5 minutes left in the first period, somehow it's still Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
Yeah, listen, he's gone the right way, hasn't he? And he's trying to side-foot it, and there's one of them where you're hoping maybe the goalkeeper goes the other way, and it looks like a decent penalty, but once you side-foot with no real pace in the ball, it's an easy save for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think most of these penalties, he steps up, little stutter, and he opens up and goes to the goalkeeper's left. In this occasion, Keller just waits, reads it. It's not even down the side, it's more in the middle. It's a really poor penalty from Arne Engels.
Hatate does well to find Johnson, and here's Kuhn right hand side, up to the penalty area he comes. Nicholas Kuhn, Johnson on the overlap, can he pick out our teammates into Keller, who knocks it behind. Celtic corner, this crowd are desperate to get the opening goal before half time.
Yeah, and I was giving Engels credit before that. It's a funny old game, isn't it? You know, and listen, a penalty's a penalty. Keeper goes the right way, he's always got a chance of saving it.
Arne Engels then from the right hand side will take this corner kick. It's the second penalty he's missed, but the other one he missed was retaken because the Ross County keeper was off his line, so really it's just the first one he's missed technically as he cuts this one back. Kyogo with a shot, deflected wide, another corner.
It's a good block as well. Engels looks like he's going to whip that in the air. Kyogo peels off, he just whips it low towards the penalty spot. Kyogo freed himself, he tries to just divert that towards the back post, and there's a good block in there.
Arne Engels once more then from the right hand side, outswinger comes in, it's a good ball but it's flicked on by a young boy's head all the way through to Hatate. Hatate looking to find a bit of room before whipping in the shot. Keller could have caught that I feel, but pushes it away and it's going to come out for a throw in near side. Arne Engels takes it quickly on the right for Celtic, plays it back now for Kuhn as Engels is wrestled to the floor there by Hadjam. Goodness knows what he was thinking. He's claiming that his shirt was being pulled, but it was surely a foul by the young boys player, and Celtic will have the free kick down near the corner flag. Although the referee's just double checking with the assistant, but it is Hadjam who's penalised, and it will be a free kick to Celtic in a decent position, just a few yards in from the right touchline and not too far away from the corner flag either. And another chance for them to try and find this opening goal, which they will feel they should have had by now.
Surely a booking him. He's just wrestled Engels to the ground right in front of the assistant referee.
Yeah. Engels then from the right to try and create something here, having missed the penalty just a few moments ago. Engels steps up, clips it to the back post, good ball, but it's headed away as far as Hatate. Great connection, did that take a touch from the keeper? I thought it might have, but the referee signals for a goal kick. It was always rising from Hatate, but it might just have crept under, it looked, but in the end just over the top, and so it looks more and more like we're going to be heading in at the interval goalless somehow. Celtic 0, Young Boys 0, almost 44 played.
Yeah, listen, they've made chances now in this closing 10 minutes, Celtic, and they just haven't been able to hit the back of the net, but they're playing well, playing really, really well, and you've got to say, Young Boys is also up for this game tonight, physically strong, high energy. Celtic just need that goal to knock the spirit out of them.
There's Ugrinic over on the far side, knocks it back the way to Kamara, who's quickly closed down but gets the ball up to Ganvula, who flicks out to the right hand side for Young Boys, but it's picked up by Taylor, and now it's forward with Hatate looking to link with Kuhn. It was a good thought certainly from Kyogo, didn't quite find its way through to the German, but here's Hatate to the left hand side. Taylor into the box, Niasse picks up just on the edge though, as Young Boys try to ensure the clean sheet is preserved until half-time at the very least. Forward it goes from Young Boys, and then Hatate's played a loose one back, but Carter Vickers gets his head to it and finds Engels in the middle of the park. Good footwork from Engels, back to Carter Vickers. Final minute at the 45, out to Kuhn right hand side, driving at that Young Boys backline, coming in off the right onto his left foot. Shown inside by Niasse, it's Hatate taking over. Now Kyogo just inside the box, well challenged, and Young Boys have won it back, and then there's a free kick has gone their way just to give them a little bit of a breather, which they are in dire need of, you'd say, having been under the cosh for the last 20 minutes or thereabouts, but somehow it's still, as the fourth official prepares to show us there's 2 minutes of injury time to be played. It's still Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
The chance before when Kuhn gets the ball, when Alistair Johnston picks it up, Hadjam's way out of position. He has to play that in front of him, give him something to run on. He plays it in the feet. Kuhn works it well. He cuts inside. Looked like Hatate was going to take the shot, but maybe just wasn't quite set. As Ganvula has just run into Alistair Johnston.
Yeah, and he's going to be booked for that. The fourth official is the one who spotted it. And a yellow card for Silveri Ganvula for an off-the-ball challenge on Alistair Johnston. As Keller prepares to take the free kick from just outside his own penalty area. He's aiming for Ganvula up against Johnston. He does get the flick on Ganvula for Montero, but Carter Vickers sees it out of play. It'll be a Celtic throw-in, looking to take it quickly, but in the end he just leaves it for Johnston. Forward from Hatate. So a poor header there from Benito, and then he goes right through the back of Nicholas Kuhn for another Celtic free kick midway inside the Young Boys half. Is there one final chance then here from this set piece?
For me, that's an error booking because he's already done it earlier in the game. Same player.
Yeah, I agree.
No booking though, despite the protestations of Faki Vonner and James McFadden. But it will be a free kick to Celtic to be taken by Arne Engels, pretty much midway inside the Young Boys half, just right of centre. Last few seconds of stoppage time. Engels then into the penalty area it goes. Well won by Ganvula, who's back there. Hatate picks up about 35 yards from goal. Thinks about playing it back the way to Johnston, but it spins. But the referee's whistle brings the first half to a close. Well, it's been exhilarating at times. Celtic well on top, but haven't been able to find the opening goal. Though they've had the ball in the net a couple of times within the space of a few moments. It was Kyogo on each occasion. The first time McGregor dispossessed Nias in the middle of the park, fed Kyogo, who slotted it past the goalkeeper, wrong-footing him, but the VAR intervened and referred the referee to his monitor, and after a check it was deemed that McGregor had committed a foul on Nias in winning the ball back. Moments later, Maida played it in from the left-hand side and Kyogo knocked it into the net once more. That one was given as offside, I think against Maida on that occasion, and still it was 0-0. But then Celtic got another glorious opportunity to break the deadlock as Taylor was fouled inside the box, but Arne Engels with a weak spot kick put it straight into the arms of Marvin Keller, who just went down to his left-hand side. A comfortable stop for him, and although there have been umpteen other efforts on goal, the only one of any great note at the other end came from Montero, a 25-yard effort that was pushed away by Kasper Schmeichel. At half-time, it's Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
Following Scotland's teams in Europe.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
He slides it home!
It has been an absolutely crazy first 45 minutes at Celtic Park. Half-time is 0-0 elsewhere. Real Madrid 2, Salzburg 0. PSG 0, Manchester City 0. Paris having a goal ruled out in first half stoppage time by VAR. Sparta Prague 0, Inter 1, Arsenal 1, Dinamo Zagreb 0. Feyenoord 1, Bayern Munich 0. That's deep into first half stoppage time, and it's also stoppage time at Milan 1, Girona 0. The two full times from earlier, Leipzig 2, Sporting 1, Shakhtar 2, Brest 0. Celtic in the live table have moved up one spot to 22nd, 10 points from 7 games. In terms of the live table, if they can get the breakthrough and make it stick, make it count, then they will move significantly up that table. But as things stand, they would still be on the cusp in terms of remaining in the competition. Goalless it is. Kyogo has had 3 goals disallowed. I've been having a search online. I can't find a game in which one player has had 3 goals ruled out by VAR. It may well have happened. I'm not by any means suggesting that it has been an exhaustive search. You've found quite a few instances of teams having 3 goals disallowed. West Ham, for instance, back in March against Aston Villa, there was a World Cup game between Argentina and Saudi Arabia where Argentina had 3 goals ruled out. A couple of other incidences, but not where one player, I haven't found one where one player, as in Kyogo tonight, has had 3 goals ruled out, which he has done. And that was in the space of less than half an hour. What I would say, and what I'm sure the boys would agree when they see the pictures, is that the decisions that have been taken by VAR, the interventions, have all been absolutely spot on. I think the 3 goals, Kyogo clearly offside for the first one before he rolls it round the keeper. The second one, it is a foul. It's clearly a foul by Callum McGregor on Nias before he passes through for Kyogo to score, and then within a couple of minutes Kyogo scores again, but Mira was offside on the far side, and even if he had been on, actually Kyogo would then have been off in the middle. Might be one or two who don't feel it was a penalty, the one that Celtic were awarded, but they were awarded it, and it was a very weak effort by Arne Engels. The first penalty he has officially missed. As Al said, he did have one save, but it was a retake up in Dingwall, but that was all too easy for the keeper Marvin Keller, and that's why it is 0-0. There was the shout also when Maeda thought that he should have had a penalty. The referee very clearly saying no penalty, and he was spot on with that as well, because although the player put his hand on Maeda's back, he certainly didn't push him, and Maeda went down. He may have been stumbling in any case, but it wasn't a foul by Nias. So those were the key flashpoints, I suppose, during the opening 45 minutes. It's certainly been a first half, Pat Bonner, that you could not take your eyes off. My goodness, there was always something happening.
Yeah, and I thought it was a really good first half, and I think it was down to both teams actually, and the way that Celtic have gone about their game has been really, really good. Maybe a couple of lazy passes at times just in midfield that caught them out, but overall they're very unlucky not to be ahead in this game. They've done almost everything right, apart from put the ball in the back of the net, or maybe get that run, the timing of the run and behind. But obviously, young boys pushing right up, almost to within a couple of yards of the half, leaving that big space in behind. Celtic exploiting it. Maybe they're thinking we can match the runs of Kyogo and Maeda and Kuhn. I'm not sure. They haven't used Kuhn as much. Probably getting and down this right hand side. That might change in the second half, because he definitely has the pace to get in there, and he's got the quality to finish when he does get in there. But I don't think they've done very much wrong whatsoever, and I think they want to continue this intensity. Young boys, we talked about it before the game. What quality did they have? I think they're a half decent team. They're big, they're physical, they're strong. They play direct up to the big striker, get support around them. They don't take chance too much through midfield. The one time they did, they got caught on it. They were lucky to get away with a free kick. And from that perspective, I think they'll continue doing what they're doing and trying to put Celtic under in that sort of mid-block, trying to put pressure on a little bit higher. And I think Celtic will, as the game goes on, exploit that and get their goal. Continue to do that.
I suppose, James, it's going to be mixed feelings for Brendan Rodgers in there at half-time, isn't it? Because he'll be relatively happy with much of what his team has produced, but there is that frustration that they haven't just quite got the run correct, they haven't got the timing right, they haven't got the goal or goals that they probably deserve.
Yeah, well, I think it's mostly it'll be happy with how Celtic have approached the game. The fact that they have looked dangerous and they've managed to get in behind on a number of occasions. He'll be disappointed they haven't got themselves in front, particularly when you factor in the missed a penalty kick. But I think overall he'll be happy enough, and he'll be telling them just continue doing what they've been doing. Obviously, time the run a little bit better. Can you play a better pass? But if you're not creating chances against a team that is trying to frustrate you and force you into mistakes to catch you on the counter, then there would be a worry. But Celtic are in control of the game. At times, young boys have looked dangerous to a point in the counter-attack, but Celtic making them work ever so hard. They're squeezing the lines, no space in between midfield defence. They're squeezing the ball when it goes to one side. They squeeze over as a team. So the switch of play is on for Celtic. If you can do that quicker, you know, as Pat says, Kuhn probably not been involved as much as he would like, but certainly Celtic, when they're forced over that left-hand side, if they can play the pass out to Carter Vickers, he can play one pass to Kuhn because of how far across young boys are as a team. But I think overall he'll be happy with the performance. Slightly frustrated and disappointed that they haven't got themselves in front, but absolutely no panic, no time to panic. It'll just be a case of do what you're doing, try and do it slightly better, and you will find your breakthrough and show a bit of patience. I think that's key. Celtic can't go chasing it too early in this second half. The chances will continue to come. It's all about being patient to an extent and making sure you don't go overexposed and leave yourself, you know, open at the back.
What the manager won't be happy with, James, was the penalty attempt by Arne Engels. He, other than that one up at Dingwall, and then he made amends by scoring from the retake. And I did wonder, I must admit, whether Keller had just come off his line, but I think by the looks of things, he just about stayed on it before he made the save. Look, I know if he goes the wrong way, then it's a penalty, and it's been a successful penalty. But when the keeper dives the correct way, as he did, there just wasn't anything in that, was there?
No.
In terms of the quality.
No, it was a poor penalty. I think that, you know, seeing Arne Engels, and his technique is outstanding, I have to say. Normally he'll hit the side netting, but he favours that side. He favours the goalkeeper's left. So what happens when you're taking quite a lot of penalties is you might sometimes get in your own head and think, right, I'm going the other way this time. I'm going the other way. What if the keeper goes that way? I'll just go the way I normally go. And that looks like what's happened to him, because he goes up and he stutters, which he does, and his technique's excellent. But because if the goalkeeper's at full stretch and tips that round the post, you're saying, well, fair enough, it's a good penalty, a good save. But I think he's in a lot of minds, not two minds. He's in a lot of minds as he's stepping up to hit that, to say he's almost changed his mind at the last minute, back to default, open your foot up, go to the goalkeeper's left, find the side netting. Whereas I think Arne Engels' technique's that good that if he goes up and picks his spot and hits it with the technique that he has, the goalkeeper won't save it anyway, because he finds the side netting, whether he opens it up or whether he reverses it. But I feel that was a case of maybe just Arne Engels being in his own head, and that's led to it being such a poor penalty.
Yeah, well, it goes down as a save for the keeper, of course. He'll be delighted with that. He's made a couple of other decent saves as well. I mean, there has been no shortage of opportunities created, Pat, by Celtic. They have certainly given themselves every chance to be in front.
Yeah, he had that really good save from Hatate, hadn't he, down to his right-hand side.
That was an excellent save.
Excellent save. It looked as if it was past him, and he just got his hand to it and tipped it around the post. It was a good effort from Hatate, and yeah, but we talked about it. It's the timing of the runs, and that they'll be talking about that now absolutely at half time. Just get your timing right. The pass is always on. Just get both the timing of the pass and the timing of the run, and you will get in there, and then just concentrate on finishing. And I think Kuhn will probably say, because we were watching him here, and he was frustrated he wasn't getting the ball. The ball kept going down, especially early on in the first half, down the left-hand side, and it will come back and then go back to the left-hand side, and he was really frustrated, his hands in the air and so on. So he will be probably saying to his colleagues, if the manager doesn't pick up on it, come on, give me the ball. I'm on strong today. I want to get the ball. I want to take the defender on. Alistair Johnson, maybe just delay your run a little bit. Don't go too early and kill the space for him.
I think they can play it blind almost when it goes up into the far left, and it's Maeda and Hatate and Taylor. McGregor comes over as well. You see the chance Kuhn goes through and he can't quite get the space, shifts onto the left, goes by 1, 2, 3, waiting for that perfect opportunity. I think because of the way young boys squeeze the game, they squeeze, everyone's over the opposite half of the pitch, squeeze and make sure there's no space to play through. Whether it comes back to McGregor and he can flip it with his left foot first time over the top,
a few times,
or Engels can hit it, or back to Trusty and he can hit it, it's definitely something that Celtic can exploit, because they're so far across. Hadjum goes so far across, almost beyond the line of the front post, which would be the back post if it's on the left hand side, to squeeze the game and make sure they don't get played through. But it's leaving them massively exposed for the switch of play.
Right, just to pick up on something I was talking about earlier on, huge thanks to the P&J Sports editor Danny Law, who's obviously better at using Google than I am. Alvaro Morata had a hat-trick of goals disallowed for offside as Juventus lost to Barcelona in the Champions League in 2020. So it has happened. previously, Hugo's got another 45 minutes to go, of course. And I mean, it wasn't him for the second one, or for the third one rather. It was Maida. But I suppose you're always running that risk with Maida, because I suppose partly because tonight Young Boys are playing such a high line, but also Kyogo is always playing on that line, isn't he?
Yeah, both of them do. Both of them make it, and again, it's about the timing of the run and when to go, and just almost getting yourself in a position where you're making the run. You want to get the advantage, but you've got to make that run at the proper time. You go too early, you're going to be offside, especially with such a high line. You know what I mean? It's a very fine margin to get your run right. Jim,
I don't think it had to be on the one for the goal though, because it comes where we're saying Johnson should play inside for Kuhn. He plays it into Atate, so Maida can't be offside there. It's not a quick break where he's gambling. They're in control of the situation. They have the overload. Just hold your run a little bit. And I think, you know, is it the goal? And I actually felt as though it was Kyogo that was offside. So I think you say, Rich, that Kyogo may well have been as well. Yeah. So just about, again, patience. Just time your run. Don't get frustrated. Don't go too early. But it's such a high line they're playing against, and that's the risk and the reward. Young Boys play the high line. The risk is to get caught in behind, which Celtic have done, and the reward is that you catch them offside, and that's why you play it.
Yeah, and look, you both said you need to be patient in the second half. I suppose that at times can be easier said than done. You can just imagine, because they know, all those players know exactly how important this is tonight. They know that a win probably sends Celtic into the knockout stages. So it's going to be fascinating to see how this unfolds. If Celtic continue to play as they have been, you've got to imagine they will create more chances. There will be more opportunities. And, well, hopefully, from a Scottish football point of view, Celtic are able to make them count. Remember, tomorrow night, we'll switch our attention from the Champions League to the Europa League. Again, the programme on at 6 o'clock. Full live commentary as Manchester United and Rangers go head-to-head. The team's back out at Celtic Park. It is goalless between Celtic and Young Boys. Live second-half commentary comes from James McFadden, Pat Bonner and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Rich. Celtic about to get us back underway. No changes for either side at the interval. So 0-0, we recommence. Celtic looking for that goal or goals in the victory and the 3 points, with Arsenal doing their bit, leading against Dinamo Zagreb. A Celtic win would assure them of a place in the knockout phase, but in order to ensure that, they do need to break the deadlock, which they thought they'd done on numerous occasions in that first period. They're started brightly here. It's Hatate into the penalty area, away by Hadjam, picked up though by Engels, out to the right to Kuhn at the angle of the box. Good challenge though by Hadjam, and it's picked up by Greenwich, who immediately tries to play it for Ganvula. Ganvula didn't get the first ball, but he will get on to the second. Actually, he's just going to leave it. I don't think he was offside, but he was worried that he was, and back came Maida to actually win possession. The Greenwich still keeps it alive for Young Boys. Nias back into his own half to Kamara, who plays it square for his captain just inside his own half. Benito out to the left-hand side to Hadjam once more, and here's Montero back to Benito on the halfway line, and all the way back to Keller, who made that penalty save. To be honest, I had more or less discounted the first Kyogo one that ended up in the back of the net because it was so far offside, but I guess it was a goal that was chopped off for offside if you're being technical about it. The other two are certainly more contentious at first glance, as the ball's played into the Celtic penalty area, but comfortably taken by Kasper Schmeichel, and immediately bowled out, and forward comes Engels. Now Kyogo's gone down off the ball, presumably in a challenge with Kamara. I didn't see it myself at all, but he is holding his face, and the referee will bring play to a halt because it's a facial knock, and it's a yellow card being shown to Kamara. I'm not sure the referee saw that, but maybe he's had a word in his ear from one of his assistants. He didn't seem to be looking at the incident at all. I don't know if either of you saw what happened.
Can't help you out. I'm going to presume it was the fourth official or the assistant here. But Must be the fourth official, surely, if it's assistant far side of flags and lets the referee know there's a foul.
Yeah, well, free kick has been given and taken, and Engels plays it back to Trusty, then plays it out to the left-hand side to Taylor. So Mohamed Kamara into the notebook as well as Taylor does well to keep possession there, pokes it to Hattati. Now it's Maida for Engels. Engels into the box, goes for goal, pushed away by the keeper. Maida on the follow-up. Is he caught on the follow-up? And the referee is pointing, but I think he's only pointing for a goal kick. As Maida tries to get on the rebound, the keeper again, it's not a bad save, it's straight at him, but he seems to be pushing a lot away rather than just trying to hold these shots.
It's the modern goalkeeper, Al. They never catch anything anymore. You know, he's obviously used his chest rather than his hands, comes off his chest and comes straight back out to Maeda. It was never a penalty because he was going in after and he dived trying to get a header on target just over the crossbar.
He needs to catch it for me. I know you're saying modern goalkeeper, but catch it.
Of course.
Hadjam's giving it away in a dangerous area. Kuhn picks up and finds Engels out to Johnston, right-hand side. Still 0-0 at the outset of this second period. Here's McGregor. McGregor plays it square for Taylor, about 25 from goal. Now it's Maida inside the box, left-hand side. Can he try and flash it across? Comes off the full-back and out for a corner. Atakami getting the final touch, and Celtic will have a corner left-hand side, with Engels coming across to take it. 3.5 played in this second period. Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
Yeah, high energy start from Celtic in the second half. They've obviously spoke about keeping the tempo up at half-time, and they've done that. Come out and put Young Boys under severe pressure. They're desperate for this goal, though.
Here's Engels then from the left flank. The right-footed in-swinger. It's a low ball, and Maida tries to help it on. It's, I think, Ganvula back there just getting in the way and thumping it over the halfway line. I'm not sure if that was intended from between Engels and Maida. It almost worked a treat if it was, or almost regardless of how it was. Here's Engels flicking it on neatly for Taylor, left-hand side. Poor ball into the middle from Taylor, and the offside flag is up in any case. It's quickly taken into Nias, and he's almost caught out there by McGregor again, as he was for one of those offside Kyogo, or one of the Kyogo goals that was chopped off. Ganvula runs it out of play, and Celtic have the throw in midway inside their own half. Back by Hattati to Trusty, put under pressure, but digs the forward ball out. Nias though picks up possession, and now it's Benito to the left-hand side for Hadjam. COD comes into the box for Montero, takes it on the chest, has to come out of the box. Now it's back with Kamara out on this right-hand side, curled into the penalty area, and Trusty gets his head to it, but it's not fully clear. And here goes Montero trying to get on the end of it, and it's going to be a corner as Johnston's claiming for offside. He had to take evasive action to knock it out of play, and it will be a corner over on that far side.
Yeah, that's where the dangers, I think, with the physical strength that they have in the box. When they get around, they get the balls into the box, they become a little bit dangerous, and Johnston had to react really well there defensively, but he gives away the corner. They've got height.
Yeah, they certainly have. 5.5 of the second period gone. 0-0. Corner from the left-hand side for Young Boys to be taken by Filip Ugrinic. It's taken short though, and it's swung in left-footed near post. Away by Maida. That was a dangerous ball in. Malles will retrieve it. Young Boys pick up once more. Malles on that left-hand side. Celtic trying to push further forward. Hadjam takes a chance a couple of times, gets away with it, and then plays it back on the halfway line, and it'll be picked up by Kamara. Kamara, well, he could have gone forward. I don't know why on earth he's going back to his goalkeeper when he had plenty of bodies ahead of him, but that's what he does. Well, maybe Young Boys would definitely take a point from this game. It doesn't really matter now whether they, a win is not going to make them qualify, so a point away from home, and the first point of the campaign would clearly be a good one. They've picked up possession once more. Ganvula giving chase. Trusty and Schmeichel between them get it half clear. Taylor though loses out to Ganvula. Was he caught there? He's gone down as if he was. Gets back to his feet as Young Boys are in possession, but Ganvula's giving it away. Well, remember, Ganvula is in a yellow and can't really take any chances with those types of challenges, and it looked like the way that Taylor went down as if he had been caught. Here's Ugrinic, flicks it on for Ganvula, who again goes in on Taylor, and this time it's a free kick to Young Boys for the initial challenge, I think, on Ugrinic. And I think maybe Ukraine's just having a word with Ganvula about the challenges he's going in for. A couple of 50-50s, looked to have won them fairly, James, but you do have to be careful.
Yeah, you do. I think that the first one, Greg Taylor, it's just I'm not so sure it's a foul. Greg Taylor's just trying to bring the attention to the referee, but you're right, he has to be careful because they put so much into it. And you were saying earlier about a draw, they'd be delighted. Of course they would, they've not won a game yet, so they'd be absolutely delighted. In order to do that, I think it's imperative they keep 11 men on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Mally's in to take the free kick midway inside the Celtic half right hand side. Bodies lined up about 5 yards outside the box. It's swung into the penalty area. It's a great leap there by Carter Vickers. The shot comes in on the left hand side, but comes off a Young Boys player last and behind for a goal kick. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. It is Celtic nil, Young Boys nil, in a game that Celtic, you feel, in order to progress, really have to win. As forward comes Engels, right hand side, tries to play it square, but it's deflected back to Benito and picked up by Nias in the middle of the park. Forward by Hadjam and then knocked on to Montero. He won't pick up possession on. McGregor knocks it back to Schmeichel. 8 minutes played in this second period. 0-0 it stands. Still the crowd well behind their side as Taylor looks to lift it over the top for Maida. Fullback didn't really know what it was, but he's done well to get a couple of touches on it, the second of which was to keep it from going behind for a corner and a throw-in only. Quickly taken by Maida. Tati picks up, tries to feed it into the box. Maida's picked up possession, plays a short ball to Engels, who tries to dink it through for Maida. He's managed to do that. Out comes the keeper. He gets a glove to it. Don't think it was going on target, but he's pushed it behind, couldn't take any chances. Lovely little ball from Engels. Incredible improvisation, and Maida almost the beneficiary.
He's got a hook with his right foot. He tried to let it run back onto his left.
I think it's just spinning away because it comes into Engels. He stabs at it with the outside of his boot, which puts lots of spin on it, and Maida can't quite judge where the ball's going to go. Ends up way outside his left hand side.
Here is Engels then for the corner, but the referee before it's taken has spotted something going on at the back post that he is not happy with, and Trusty, one of the Young Boys players, possibly Nias, is going to get a talking to from the referee before the corner comes in, just to make it clear.
Ali's interested in Norwegian referee, and they've just banned VAR from Norway,
yeah, and
he's been relying on it all evening.
That's a good point. It is an Italian VAR, but a Norwegian set of officials otherwise, as Engels whips it into the back post. A good ball, a header comes in, clips the VAR from Trusty. It was a great leap. He managed to lose his man, but from 8 yards out, he just couldn't get the header down sufficiently. Clipped the top of the bar. Still Celtic nil, Young Boys nil.
There's a great delivery from Engels. He has been trying to put them on top of the goalkeeper in the 6 yard box. This one just comes about 8 yards out. Trusty manages to get free. It's a free header. It gets up well. He just can't keep it down. Comes off the top of the bar.
Should he do better, Packy?
Well, I think if he was a yard further out, he might have got it on target. It's almost about 4 or 5 yards, and he's got to try to find the target from that position, and he's well up. He's just stretching a little bit.
Here's Montero for Young Boys. What Celtic certainly cannot afford to do is lose a goal. They haven't really looked under threat of doing that, in all fairness, but as it's 0-0, you just never know, and Young Boys have one possession back inside the Celtic half, and it's Mally's coming forward out to the right hand side, and it comes from the fullback, comes back to Mally's. That's charged down, and Trusty feeds it clear only as far as Nias, who takes a thump at goal, but well wide from Sheikh Nias, and behind for a Celtic goal kick. 56 on the clock. Celtic nil, Young Boys nil.
Now, they haven't looked too dangerous, Al. They've put so much work. We spoke about their shape and how well they've worked against the ball, but if Celtic continue to play the little slack passes into midfield, you're giving them encouragement, and that is all they need. There's Maeda with another one.
Yeah, and it's picked up by Mally's, and now it's Vula back to Artakami on the right hand side, back in field to Nias, and back to the halfway line to Kamara, and then all the way back to the keeper once more, just outside his penalty area. Plays it to his captain, Loris Benito. Forward it goes into the midfield for Wakome. Young Boys almost losing possession, but it's out of play in the end for a throw in to them.
Yeah, I think Celtic would have been delighted to see that ball almost move backwards from the edge of their own box all the way back to the goalkeeper, because that's where they're dangerous. If they get the ball into those wide areas and get crosses or get balls into the box, they've got that physical authority in the box, and they could become dangerous, whether it's a first phase or second phase ball.
Yeah, I mean, for Celtic, you don't want to give them encouragement. That's the one thing. They've started the second half really fast.
Here's Kyogo, edge of the box, dances away from a couple of challenges and then just loses control of the ball as he tried to beat a third, and it's knocked out of play by Wakome. This is a side that lost 5 to Barcelona, 5 to Stuttgart, 6 to Atalanta, and yet they are managing, with the hour mark almost upon us, to keep a clean sheet here, as the referee is not happy with something. I think he's just going to give a drop ball to Celtic here. Yeah, allowing Alistair Johnston to pick up right hand side in an advanced area. Kuhn lays it back. McGregor goes for goal and pushed away by the keeper again, who James, I know for a fact, knowing your views on goalkeepers who don't catch the ball, I mean, that was straight into his arms.
I mean, it's a side footer,
and he's given away a corner.
It's a side footer straight at him. He's parried everything. He's come up with a couple of really good saves when he's at full stretch, and he's tipping it round the corner. Anything in and around his body, he will parry away. So Celtic, McGregor, Hatate, Engels, can they get shots from outside the box? Allow Kyogo, Kuhn, Maeda to go pick up seconds.
Well, let's see if they can punish him from this corner kick, because I don't think it was a corner kick that was necessary to concede. Carter Vickers, though, can't quite backpedal sufficiently to get the header on target, and it's swirled all the way out for a goal kick on that far side. Packy, you're the expert in this regard. Regardless of modern day or otherwise, surely if a shot that comes in from 25 yards, it's not moving particularly, it's not particularly viciously hit, surely you can trust yourself to just catch it.
Totally agree, Al, totally agree. And we've had that discussion over the last couple of times I've been in working with the goalkeeping coaches, but they don't catch the ball anymore. They train that way.
Well, ball's played forward, one for Garvula to chase. Taylor gets there just ahead of him, and it's back to Schmeichel, and now for McGregor. 59 played, 0-0 at Celtic Park between Celtic and Young Boys as Johnston feeds it down the right, but Hadjam's there just ahead of Kuhn, plays it infield for Benito to clear first time, but picked up by McGregor, who finds Johnston right hand side, midway inside the Young Boys half. It's McGregor for Hatate. Taylor wants it desperately and gets it in a central area, but 35 from goal, curls into the back post, just too much on it. Not a bad idea, he was looking for Engels, but just got too much on the cross, behind for a goal kick. Almost an hour on the clock. Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
Yeah, you're right, the idea was good, but it just execution was poor, and that's the frustration. You can see Brendan Rodgers down on this left hand side beside him, obviously a little bit frustrated with that also.
Even from there, I'd be shooting. Having watched this goal, I'd be shooting. I'd hit it straight at him, because he won't catch it. He'll tip it over the bar for a corner, round the side of the post, or he'll drop it in front of him. And it's an almost impossible angle from Greg Taylor. He's never going to shoot from there, but I'd still be shooting from there.
Well, it's about in-game intelligence, isn't it, for players to kind of take responsibility and learn from stuff that's going on during the game. But still half an hour to play. The crowd just trying to G Celtic up once more as they search for, well, even just one goal. If it were to be enough to win it, then that would do the fans here just fine. They've seen some terrific performances, and most notably that Leipzig one here. 3-1 victory was just phenomenal. A couple of changes coming for Young Boys just momentarily. Celtic, you would imagine Packy will be going to the bench sometime soon as well, particularly given that the stalemate is still ensuing.
Yeah, but Celtic have played well, and there's no doubt. It's been a good performance also from Young Boys, and the way that they've gone about their game, and I think they just want to get a little bit of energy, and they don't lose the energy of what they're actually doing and closing Celtic down at times, or working really hard, and that's why they're probably going to the bench. I don't think Brett or Asime Maeda has got an injury to his back here. He's down a little bit.
Yeah, Atakame just came tight to him. Maeda stopped. He ran into the back. I don't think it was a foul, but it's clearly taking a little bump in the back.
So yeah, looks like Cedric Eaton is definitely going to make his entrance here at Celtic Park. two changes that's about to happen for Young Boys. I would imagine that means Ganvula will make way. As forward comes Montero, looking to take on Carter Vickers. He's into the penalty, he's done really well. Cuts it back now, it's Malays, gets a shot, brilliant save on the follow-up. Oh, how did Schmeichel keep that out twice to deny Malays? Still the chance might be there as Nias picks up for Young Boys. Well, Kasper Schmeichel earning his corn, his new contract there, with two phenomenal saves, both as good as each other, to deny Malays from point-blank range. Wow, that was incredible goalkeeping, Pat Bonner.
Yeah, good saves, vital saves, and that's what I talked about before the game about Schmeichel and the top goalkeepers, is when they come up with the big saves at the right time to keep you in the match and give you an opportunity, because, you know, with time running out here, the next goal is going to be absolutely vital.
Free kick has gone Celtic's way, deep in their own territory, but what a warning that was, James.
Unbelievable. Montero down the left-hand side. You highlighted him out, saying he's one of the few to have had a good season. He just goes past Carter Vickers with ease, and then it looks like he's potentially overrun it. And if spots, I think it was Lacombe that had the shot, or a Greenwich, the shot from the edge of the box. Was it a Greenwich?
The initial one?
Yeah. Malays had them both. Malays, sorry. When it comes to him, I just expected him to score. Kasper Schmeichel with the most outrageous first save, and then it gets back up when it comes back to him, and I don't know how he's kept that out. And it looks like, you know, it looked like Young Boys are going to take the lead, unbelievably.
It really did, but they haven't. They made that double change. Miguel Chaiwa and Cedric Itten have come on, and it is Malays, who could have been the hero just a moment ago, who's been replaced along with Ganvula. So Cedric Itten, who was well, he wasn't a success, put it that way, at Rangers. There's another yellow card being flashed. I think that's the way of Hadyam for a foul, dragging the Celtic player down. And so first change though made by the visitors, double change, Itten and Chaiwa on for the closing 26 minutes. Here comes Celtic down the right hand side. Johnston tries to flash it into the box, as well blocked though, and Young Boys will come forward, and they've got a little bit of positivity about them right now. The ball forwards a poor one as Itten made a run through, but Montero, just going back to that opportunity, Montero did really well against Carter Vickers, and the cutback for Malays was on point as well, and Malays, unfortunately for him, found Kasper Schmeichel in absolutely top form.
Yeah, Montero gets it down the left-hand side, and he's dribbling with his right, and he opens up, and it looks like he wants to get back on to his right foot, as if he's just going to step to the left, drag it onto the right, but he just drags it with the right foot onto the left, takes Carter Vickers out of the game, and the pick out to Malays is excellent, and it's a good connection. It's just a tremendous save from Kasper Schmeichel.
Celtic fans just getting a little bit disgruntled about a couple of slack passes deep in their own half, but here they are coming down the right hand side, and it's Engels just inside his own half, crossing the halfway line now. Again, the forward ball is cut out, and Young Boys pick up left hand side, comes off Engels, and it'll be a throw in to Young Boys, who've played 65.5 minutes.
The game's getting a little bit stretched, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's they're obviously seeing that they maybe could actually go and win this game also, and they're putting extra players forward, and there is space for Celtic to exploit if they can do it well.
A couple of Celtic changes coming as Greenwich picks up on the halfway line and feeds it forward to Cedric Itten, right hand side, looks into the penalty area, can't get the ball beyond. Trusty though, sees it out for a throw in down near the corner flag. Right hand side is Young Boys attack. Celtic just delaying the changes slightly as Young Boys have this throw in up in an attacking area. Just under a quarter of the, or just over a quarter of the game left to play. As Paulo Bernardo and Alex Baye are the players who are about to come on. Here it is, right hand side as Greenwich tries to get the cross in, it's blocked by McGregor, and Atakami will try again from the throw in here, about 10 yards from the corner flag, right-hand side, 0-0 it stands. Into Eaton, and it comes off Maida, who manages to make the clearance, and Kyogo picks up and tries to feed it forward for Kuhn. Kuhn's fast, but he's not that fast, and it's easily mopped up by Benito, who plays it back to his goalkeeper, and out to Kamara, back to Keller once more, just inside his own penalty area, and now with the skipper Benito over on the far side, and then on the left it's picked up once more by Benito as Bernardo and Baye prepare to come on for the closing quarter of the game. Keller now from the edge of his penalty area, knocks it long. Montero beaten in the air. Picked up though by Hadjam, feeds it forward down the left-hand side, headed forward once more by Johnson into the feet of Hatate. Good ball out to the right-hand side for Engels, but poor ball from him forward, and easily just taken up by the goalkeeper. Marvin Keller, 22-year-olds who started a couple of Champions League games, but only a couple as well in the league, but now seems to be the one who's favoured by the new manager, Giorgio Contini. Here's the boards to show us who's coming off, and it's going to be Arne Engels to be replaced by Paulo Bernardo. Engels will look back in frustration at that missed spot kick, and then there's a straight swap at the left back as Alex Baye comes on to replace Greg Taylor.
Yeah, apart from the penalty, I think he's had a good game tonight. He's tried a few passes there, didn't come off, and he looked a little bit tired, and I think that was the obvious change that Brendan Rodgers was going to make. But in saying that, I wouldn't say anything against his game, and I think he's been good tonight.
Yeah, he's done well. I think that, you know, though, as you say, a couple of those passes, he can see it. It's just maybe the execution hasn't been there. But he was tiring. There was a few occasions where you're looking for him maybe to drive forward with the ball, and he just cut back inside and played the pass inside. So not surprised to see Bernardo on, bring a bit of energy and bit of legs into that midfield. And Baye, we know he's one where he can have an impact going forward.
Here's McGregor driving Celtic over the halfway line, left-hand side, slips it forward for Maida, who's dragged to the ground by Zachary Atakami. Surely he's going to go into the book. I mean, it's just so cynical.
Absolutely, that's the only way he was going to stop him, and that's poor refereeing.
Last warning, I think that was the indication, but I mean, I think he's beyond that stage. Anyway, Celtic have got a free kick to be taken by Paulo Bernardo, just 3 yards or so in from the left touch line, midway inside the young boys' half. 70th minute, Celtic needing a goal. Bernardo, it's a good ball in, comes off it's the head of Eaton back there doing some defending, and then it'll just be thumped out of play on this near side. Bernardo keen to take the throw in quickly, does so to McGregor, gets it back left hand side. Now it's Hatate picking up, feeds it forward for Baye, almost gets the better there of the young boys defender, but now feeds it forward, and Eaton and Trusty battling away, and Eaton had a massive hold of Trusty's jersey, and it'll be a free kick to Celtic, quickly taken. Young boys are going to make another change momentarily, but free kick's already taken, so we'll have to wait. That's cut out by the substitute Chaiwa, and Montero trying to get the better again of Carter Vickers, but not this time. Not too many manage it at all, so the fact that he did so 5 minutes or so ago will have annoyed Carter Vickers, no doubt, dented his pride. Here's Bernardo coming forward. It's a loose touch though, and then did he trip Hadjam? Well, it is a free kick, but nothing more than that as young boys prepare to make this latest change. It's Ibrahima Colley who's going to come on, and it is Montero over on that far side, Joel Montero, who's going to make way as young boys try to hold on at least for a first point in the tournament under the new manager. It's obviously difficult to say how bad they've been up till now, but you'd imagine this is an improved performance, because they, as I said earlier on, they haven't been at all bad this evening.
No, they haven't. I think, I mean, as you say, it's very difficult because you don't see what's happened before it, but you could see, you know, their willingness to work hard, work to the shape, their diligence to the shape. But the last maybe 10 minutes, they've grown in confidence, and you can see they're happy to take the ball and try and force those openings. They've certainly grown as the game's gone on. Having said that, Celtic have had the chances to put the game out of sight, but that's what happens. Packy spoke about it before the game, about this is European football, and if you can't just expect to turn up and win the game, and I don't think Celtic have done that, but it's the point that young boys, although they're performing poorly in the league domestically and in Europe, they're still not a bad side.
Here they come forwards. It's substitute Chaiwa, right hand side, up against Baye. Comes back the way though to his full back in this near side after Kami, closed down by Maida, back to Kamara, and then all the way back to Keller. They were in a really good advanced position there, but clearly just keener to keep possession than force anything, but the one possession back anyway in the middle of the park as Chaiwa plays it back to Kamara, and then up to Eaton, who brings it down on the chest. Trusty's with him. Poor touch from Eaton, and it's out of play.
That's maybe why they're in the position they're in, because that's been about 3 or 4 times where they've been down, mostly down this right hand side of the second half. Chance to maybe work just half a yard and cross the ball into the box or play a ball into midfield, and when it comes back, Kamara drops. You say give your teammate 10 yards, drop 10, 15 yards. He drops about 40 yards, almost into the edge of the 18-yard box, and they go all the way back, and then what they do is set up the long pass into the striker, but they're already in that position.
Kuhn with a little dummy, and that's going to encourage Bernardo, and he's chopped down there by Nias, was he? It looked to me like he was, but the referee felt like it was a clean challenge over there on the far side, so play allowed to continue. Thought Bernardo was going to latch on to that little dummy from Nicholas Kuhn as Adam Ida is stripped and ready to come on. The young boys in possession out in this near side, but Atakami can't keep it in. The Celtic fans again getting behind their side, urging them on to find this potentially winning goal, but possession given away again, and it comes off Atati and out for a throw-in on the near side, and that will allow Celtic to swap Kyogo for Ida, and he's got no goals in 13, much talked about. Last goal came at the end of November. He's got a chance to be a big hero tonight.
Yeah, and that's what you want to come to a club like Celtic for decent money. You want to play in the big games, and this is an opportunity for him to make his mark.
I think as well, a lot of the times, we spoke about it before the game, a lot of the times as teams that are sat in and you're playing that low block and you're trying to find, can you hold it up, can you get the little passes round the corner, the interplay, and not a lot of space, but we know Adam Ida can run, we know that he's willing to run in behind, and there is space for that, so maybe, if Celtic can free him up, he can be the man to get the goal, to finally, put Celtic in front.
Atakami preparing, Kamara's gone down. He was asked just a moment ago if he needed treatment, and he's obviously, the referee initially didn't allow the physios on, and maybe Kamara said he didn't need treatment, but he's just gone down again, and the referee's points to his watch saying, don't worry, I'll be adding this on, but Celtic getting more and more frustrated. We've got 15 minutes left of the 90 as Giorgio Contini down there is trying to establish whether Kamara needs to come off. He's another one who's missed chunks of the season with both injury and suspension, a couple of red cards, so he missed the last 3 league games, Mohamed Kamara, but in from the start tonight. We're needing a bit of treatment just at the moment, and just have to imagine that Celtic can continue to knock at the door and eventually create an opportunity that they'll ultimately take. They've got, there's nothing else for it, they need to keep going for it. They feel need to get the 3 points tonight, James, because they don't want to be going down to Villa Park needing to take something.
Absolutely. I think that it was a must. We spoke about it before the game. Get the win. I know that there's results elsewhere that you can look at, but ultimately if Celtic get the win, then more or less you're guaranteeing that you're in the next phase. Arsenal are 2-0 up, PSG and Man City are drawing 2 each. So I think that, get the win, it's massive. As you say, the last thing you want is having to go to Aston Villa and get a victory. Not that it's impossible, but from the position that they're in, coming into tonight's game, then it's not ideal.
Yeah, Kamara back in the field of play as young boys return to 11 men. Maida picks up possession left-hand side, infield to Hatati about 30 yards from goal. Baye is available left-hand side, picks up possession about 15 from the goal line. Infield it goes to Bernardo, a poor touch from him, and he's lost it. And here come young boys on the counter, and they're just Oh, the referee again allowing play to continue. Looked like McGregor perhaps. Looked like he'd initially clipped the substitute collie, but the referee not buying that one. And play continues, and Celtic have possession. We've got 13 to play plus stoppage time as Bernardo fails to control the Hatate pass, which is a tough one to take, to be fair, and it's out of play on the far side, and it's still 77 minutes in. Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
It's a bad touch, a bad pass, sorry, but he's just having a little spell at the minute, Bernardo, where he's not quite getting the ball under control.
Here come Young Boys down the right hand side. Atakami, the full-back, looking to take on his opposite number there, Alex Baye, but out of play from the young Catalan, and it's a throw in two Young Boys midway inside the Celtic half, to be taken by the substitute Chaiwa. Back to Kamara. Kamara feeds it forward onto the head only of Trusty, but picked up by Atakami. Closed down though by Hatate, deep in his own half. Plays the pass though to Bernardo. Back to McGregor, and good football from Celtic to find Carter Vickers now. Johnston takes over, still midway inside his own half. Again picked up, loose pass, and Hadyam infield to Greenwich. That's going to come out to the left hand side as Young Boys pick up just outside the penalty area. Not desperate to create the goal scoring opportunities, more content to keep possession when they can, but it worked out to the left hand side once more. Hadyam flashes it in. Eaton was nearly on the end of that, but Trusty was with him, and it's behind for a corner. Well matched there, Eaton. I think he got a slight touch on it, but so too did Trusty, and taken behind for a corner. 0-0, 78 played.
Yeah, it was a good ball. He worked it well down the left hand side. Good ball, and he was inches away from it. He was just in front of Trusty, and Trusty managed to get his head, but they give away the corner. Is there a corner or throw-in? Corner.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a corner. Yeah. Greenwich coming out to this right hand side to take it. Just over 11 minutes left of the 90. Greenwich, the Swiss international midfielder from the right hand side, looking to silence Celtic Park by creating a goal here. The header comes in, it's knocked away by McGregor, but a free kick had been given to Celtic in any event inside their own penalty area.
I have a feeling there's going to be a one big chance in this game, one outstanding chance. I'm hoping it's going to be for Celtic. I can go both ways this game.
Here's Hatate crossing the halfway line, feeds it forward for Maida. Maida brings it under control, but then loses out. Greenwich picks up and pokes it out to this right hand side, but it's out of play. Celtic throw in. Young Boys trying to slow the game down whenever possible. Chaiwa just picking the ball up when it should have been a Celtic throw in, and it will be eventually. Taken by Baye for Maida, feeds it back forward to the Japanese winger, looking to take on the full-back here on the right-hand side. A strong challenge on that occasion from Atakami. Out of play it goes. The referee again stopping play, just not happy with Maida or Atakami. Theirs are coming together, but listen to the crowd trying to get behind their side, urging them on for the closing 10 minutes as they search for this elusive opening goal. Throw-ins taken into Ida. Left-hand side of the 6-yard box, but can't force it across into the danger area, and Young Boys work it clear up to Eaton, who's fouled by Trusty, and it'll be a free kick midway inside the Young Boys half. 10 to play, Celtic 0, Young Boys 0.
Adam, he does get a tendency when the ball comes up that he controls it with the outside his right to spin and go into his left, either to drive or to get a shot away, but when the ball gets thrown in, he's about 2 yards for the touchline. He's got a run it off the front of him. I think it's Maida that's making the run, and he takes that little touch to the outside his boot and tries to get a shot away from an impossible angle. Just hold it in, back in. Can you play Maida? And if not, just keep a hold of it and force the issue with the defender.
It's another strong challenge going in there in the middle of the park. Another one that the referee's allowed to go. He's let the game flow, let's say that, over the course of this evening, the Norwegian. And Young Boys have picked up possession in a forward area. Hadyam, was he dragged to the ground that time? Yes, he was. And it will be a Young Boys free kick, left-hand side, midway inside the Celtic half. And as Paki says, you can't count Young Boys out of this.
Absolutely not. As I said, they've grown in confidence. They're knocking the ball about a bit. They are looking pretty decent defensively as well. Yep. Celtic not being able to get in behind quite as much as they were in the first half. And they're growing into this game. They look like a team that could be dangerous, whether because of the run of form they're on, because of the position they're in, they maybe don't have that confidence to have the final edge. But the longer this game goes on, I agree with Packy, there is going to be one chance in it. It depends who it falls to.
Yeah, well, there's an opportunity here for Young Boys to create something. Free kick from the left-hand side, swung into the edge of the area. Celtic get the first contact on it. It's picked up by Baye. Good pass for Maida. Celtic throwing bodies forward now as Maida leads the charge into the Young Boys half, and now into the penalty area as well. Into the box it comes. It's Hadjam getting in the way, and then Atakami completes the clearance out to this right-hand side, and there was no real effort from the Young Boys player to keep that in. I think he felt that it came off a Celtic player. Yeah, he's absolutely furious that the throw-in has gone Celtic's way, and it's a yellow card that has been flashed away there of the captain. It was Benito. He was just trying to see it out of play, and I can only imagine it must have taken. I mean, surely he's not going to let that go out of play if it didn't come off a Celtic player. Anyway, Celtic do get the throw, and it's Baye at the byline trying to get it into the box. And it's going to go out for another throw-in to Celtic. Quickly taken by Baye, back to McGregor. Left-hand side, clips it into the back post. Claims from the crowd for handball, but I don't think it came off the arm of Hadjam, and he's able to clear up to Colleen. Now drive forward over the halfway line, out to the right-hand side for Atakami. Now Chaiwa picks up and off Baye, and it'll be a throw-in to Young Boys, more or less in line with the 18-yard box. There's another couple of changes are going to be made by the Swiss champions, and it's going to be Lewin Bloom and Sandro Lauper to come on.
It's like one of these boxing matches, and it goes the full 13 rounds, and you're waiting to see, can somebody knock somebody out here in the last round, and yeah, anything can happen, I can tell you.
Bloom is just going to be a straight swap at right back for Zachary Atakami, who had a pretty good game, you'd have to say, against Maida. And Nias is the other player to be replaced, as Bloom's first act will be to throw in from the right-hand side. And it comes to the Celtic penalty area. Trusty leaps high and gets his head to it. Chaiwa then gets his head to it at the edge of the box, beating Hattati in there, but a comfortable take for Schmeichel to bowl it out now. 6 minutes of the 90 only left now. Goalless between Celtic and Young Boys of Bern. A team who had amassed 0 points coming into this game, as Colley, as he taken out there by Carter Vickers. The referee was on the spot to award the free kick in Young Boys' favour, and they'll have another free kick in a decent advanced position. 5.5 to play, 0-0.
Yeah, the pass has been a bit scrappy in the second half from Celtic. They've got into decent positions, but they've not been able to have the rhythm that they had in the first half, for sure.
Free kick then, central area for Young Boys, more or less midway inside Celtic's half, as Ugrinic will come back to take this, lofts it in. Hadjam's in the penalty, gets the header off, but just wide of Schmeichel's goal, of his right hand post. He saw it wide all the way, the Dane, and goal kick is the outcome. 5 to play, 0-0, as Schmeichel plays it to Trusty. Left hand side is Baye, forward for Hattati now. Good play from Hattati down the left hand side. Can he play that into the channel for Ida? Ida's inside the penalty area. Ida, it's a goal! And Amina celebrates, but it's an own goal! But who cares? Because Celtic are on the brink of the playoff round. It is Celtic 1, Young Boys 0.
Well, it was beautiful play all the way from the goalkeeper down this left-hand side. Hattati was brilliant. Little dummy first to create the space for himself, and then a beautiful pass behind the defence for Adamida. Adamida takes it on. He tries to beat the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper comes up with a save, but it comes off the defender. I don't think the defender had any real chance, because it just come off him and deflects back into him. Just wondering whether Adamida was offside.
I don't think so, Packy.
No, I hope not.
I don't think. I think that everything about it was brilliant. You know, the pass that comes to Baye, he just opens his body, plays it first time into the path of Hattati, who's under a bit of pressure. It looks like he's going to take a touch with his right foot and come back the way. He stops it with his right, drags it with his left, leaves the midfielder for dead, gets his head up, and it's an unbelievably weighted left foot pass round the back of the defender, round the back of Kamara. He had made the run, and it's just perfectly into his path. He doesn't have to take a touch. Goalkeeper comes out, he gets the save, and then it's put into the back of the net by Benito, I think it is.
Yeah.
But what a pass it is from Hatate.
Yeah, incredible stuff from Rio Hatate. Well, the cream always rises to the top, and Rio Hatate is the cream of midfielders. What a pass it was, and Adam Ida, just when it looked like he might be the hero, well, he certainly played a part in that. His shot wasn't goal-bound though, and it comes off the young boys skipper, Loris Benito, completely unknowing, into the back of his own net, couldn't do anything about it. And Celtic have the 1-goal advantage with just 3 minutes remaining, as Maida is fouled by Kamara, but he's offside, and then Kamara's gone down in dramatic fashion there, and Maida is going to get a booking as a result of that contact, but I'm not sure there was that much in it. But anyway, most importantly of all, Celtic at last, the relief of getting that breakthrough.
Incredible. You see what it means to the people in here. They all went absolutely mental. And look, it was about being patient. Young boys have had their spells in the game, but you just felt, Backy said it, there was a chance in here. And if Celtic can show their quality, you expect it was them that was going to get the breakthrough. But, I mean, still 2 or 3 minutes left of regulation. There will be a few added on. They still have to get the job done. Maida has a kick out.
Potential red card.
He has a kick out at Kamara.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, the referee's going to come across, and it could be red here for Maida. I must admit, I was looking away. I didn't see. I just didn't think it was much in it.
Yeah,
but
I think Kamara comes right through the back. He's quite heavy with him.
Yeah.
And then there's a little scuffle in Maida's left leg. He has a little kick at him. Where there's a lot in it for serious foul play, I'm not sure. But it's clearly, you know, VAR feel there's enough for the referee to have a look.
Well, the problem with that is that he will be suspended, and he'll be suspended for a couple of games. He's been off suspended before, remember?
Yeah,
last year.
I mean, it'll be more than 2 games, 3 games maybe, Al, if it's serious foul play.
Yeah, probably 3, I would think.
If the referee feels that's what it is. I mean, I don't know if there was a lot of force. There was a bit of, you know, the two of them were at it with each other.
Yeah, he's off. Let's see.
He's off.
Yellow card's been cancelled, and Daisen Maida has been shown a red card in the last couple of minutes here. A shake of the head from Daisen Maida. Celtic down to 10. Liam Scales is going to come on for the last couple of minutes. And Daisen Maida sent off for the second time in the Champions League, shown a red against Atletico Madrid last season. Now, who's going to make way? Nicholas Kuhn is going to be removed for the last few minutes, and on will come Liam Scales. And for Celtic, it might just be a case of hanging on, but that will do. 1-0 is absolutely sufficient with Arsenal beating Dinamo Zagreb. Celtic will take their place in the knockout stages if they can hold on, but they will have to do it with 10 men. Daisen Maida dismissed. Short free kick taken to Hadjam. Hadjam tries to roll it round Callum McGregor, almost gets caught in possession there and giving it away, but the boys work it out to Bloom, but they've given it away again. It's Baye winning it. They've got it back. It's the substitute Chaiwa. 5 minutes to be added on. We're beginning that now. Young boys looking for their first point of the tournament and looking for a way back into this game, but a long ball through the middle is a poor one from Kamara, and Schmeichel will just take his time before diving on that ball on his goal line and just tick away a few seconds, and it's Celtic who want to run down the clock now. 1-0 they lead.
Yeah, Scales has come on, they've just gone into a back 5. Celtic back 5-3-1. Adam Ida, lone striker, and they just have to see this game out. Adam Ida has to put a shift in for the next 5 minutes. Be a nuisance, be an out ball, hold the ball up, buy fouls, take the sting out of any encouragement that young boys may have, having the man advantage.
Baye then to take a throw in midway inside the young boys' half, left hand side for Celtic, into Ida, gets his head to it, nods it back for Hatate. Out of play off Hatate for a throw in.
And now when you look, obviously Celtic want to hold on without doubt because they've got a great position when it means for qualification, but you're without Maida now for the Villa game if it becomes a must-win game, which would be huge. And I know that the playoffs, that will be the case, but you can deal with that when it comes. You don't want to be having to go into the Villa game missing one of your key players.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. Kamara out to the right-hand side though for Bloom. Back to Kamara. Forward it goes now. A poor touch from Chaiwa. Loses out and Hatate picks up and he just fires that away. Just trying to gain some territory there by a few seconds. Just looking at the VAR explanation of the big screen. Maida kicked the left leg of his opponent with excessive force. What happened over there?
The goalkeeper run over to take a quick throw-in, and it may well be the worst throw-in I've ever seen. So it's a foul throw by the goalkeeper. So great play from Hatate, you have to say.
One thing I would say, the excuse is we never take throw-ins in our life.
Well, stay in your goal, Packy. Let someone else do it. You've already got an extra man.
Celtic then have the throw-in over the far side, 15 yards inside Young Boys' half. Knocked out of play by the unfortunate Benito, who might well be Celtic's match winner. And the home fans, who have pretty much stayed to the end, to a man and woman and child, are on their feet, applauding and cheering their side, hopefully on to victory and hopefully into the knockout phase for the first time in 12 years. Ida battling away down at the corner flag, trying to keep possession. Bernardo in there too. Celtic snapping into the challenges. Breaks for McGregor. Hatate now, 25 yards from goal. Celtic now showing some composure over on that far side, but Young Boys have won it back. They need to get the ball forward. There's a foul there on Colley, and it'll be a free kick to Young Boys midway inside their own half into injury time. And Celtic down to 10 men because of the red card shown just a few moments ago to Daisen Maida. Played forward but won by Scales. Picked up though by Bloom, right hand side. In comes Hatate, brilliant challenge. I think that came back off Bloom. Well, Celtic claiming it did, but the referee and the assistant awarded the throw-in to the home side. That could be contentious if it leads to anything. Anyway, here comes Bloom. We'll try and launch this into the Celtic penalty area from the throw-in. And it comes. Eaton's there, nods it on. Will it come to Benito? Yeah, it will. Comes back out to the edge of the penalty area to Lauper. His shot comes off a Celtic player out for a corner over on the far side. Celtic with some more defending to do. We've played 4 minutes of stoppage time. Up comes Keller, the goalkeeper. It's all or nothing now for Young Boys.
With 11 v 10 in the box.
Yeah, 11 v 10. In the closing minute of stoppage time, there might yet be a little more to be added, but Ugrinic out on that far side as Young Boys look for a dramatic late equaliser to deny Celtic that place, for the moment at least, in the knockout round. It's Ugrinic's corner. It's a poor one. It's headed away by Hatate out to the far side. Throw into Young Boys. They need to get the ball back into the mixer. Celtic just need to keep it out there. Young Boys have it. Played back the way to Chaiwa. Chaiwa out to the right-hand side for Bloom. Edge of the box. Curls it to the back post. Benito keeps it alive. Eaton gets a flick back to Benito. Trying to get a flick on the far side. Slashed that by Colley there, and it's going to come all the way out to this near side. Kept in though by Bloom. We've played the 5 minutes. Kamara into the box again. Carter Vickers can't get it clear. Schmeichel makes a save from Laupert down to his left-hand side. It wasn't a great effort, but Schmeichel dives on it, and that will feel like a match-winning save. We're beyond the 5 minutes of stoppage time, and there's a full-time whistle, and Celtic, listen to that roar, because Celtic have made it into the knockout phase of the Champions League after a 12-year absence. They have made it with another victory that takes them on to 12 points, and they will not be denied a place in the top 24 of the league. They will go down to Villa Park knowing that anything more they take will be a bonus. But they got the job done after a fashion this evening. A late goal, an own goal at that, from the Young Boys captain Loris Benito, after Adam Ida's effort was going off target, but Benito diverted it into his own net. 3 goals chopped off and a penalty missed in the first half for Celtic. It was a struggle to the end, but they got over the line, they got the job done, and so Celtic will move on in the Champions League once more. It finishes at Celtic Park on a huge night. Celtic 1, Young Boys 0.
Following